good energy, and I say it all the time. Saturdays were made for championship tennis, boxing, and UFC. And we're going to take a look at the semifinals in Chile a little later. Stay tuned for that video. But there's a boxing match that I'm interested in. We're going to talk about Hannah Rankin versus Emma Kozin, and we're also going to take a look at Shakur Stevenson and his recent bout. Now, let's start with Hannah Rankin, guys. This championship fight is for the WBC and WBO super welterweight titles. Hannah Rankin's the older fighter here. She's from the UK. She stands at 5'8". She's got a 23% KO ratio. She fights orthodox. She's been a professional for 6 years. She's 33 years old. In over 19 fights, she's boxed with 147 rounds. She's taking on Emma Kozin, the younger fighter. Now, Emma's been a professional for 7 years despite being the younger fighter. She's from Slovenia. Her nickname's the Princess. She loves to fight southpaw. That's her fighting style. She has a 52% knockout ratio, also standing at 5'8". Now, of her 25 fights, she's boxed 154 rounds. So, although she's the younger fighter, she's technically more experienced. She's got more fights. And let's take a look at Hannah Rankin. Now, Hannah, she fights orthodox. She's much more of a counter puncher, and when you're a counter puncher, you have to be very fast and technical. Watching Hannah fight, I don't think she's the fastest, and I'm not necessarily sure if she's the most athletic. Now, in terms of Emma Kozin, Emma, she's a southpaw, and watching her fight, she loves to come across with the right cross, follow up with the southpaw left down the middle, and then right to the body. So Emma, she's not a counter puncher. She's a little bit more aggressive than Hannah, and Emma loves to throw 3 to 4 punch combinations at a time. Now, Hannah being the counter puncher, most counter punchers, they're looking for that clean shot, that angle, and that opening to really cause damage. I do think Hannah's the stronger fighter, but I do think she's the less busier active fighter as she's a counter puncher. Now, Emma, watching her fight, and I took a look in particular at some of their fights, the Clarissa Shields fight in particular. I think Emma fought the better Clarissa, much more experienced, much more tenured. And even though both ladies lost that fight pretty convincingly to the GOAT, right? Or GWOAT, however you want to term it, Clarissa Shields is the best female fighter ever, maybe next to Layla Ali. But again, Layla women's boxing just wasn't that big when Layla was fighting. But Emma has good footwork. I love how she stops, she pivots, she cuts, and she turns. So she can cut off the ring. She can get out of danger. And I think she has the better movement. I also think she's the more active fighter. I think she's got the better combinations. Hannah's not, I don't think she has great movement. I think she's kind of a standing target as she wants to be a counter puncher. She's waiting for opponents to slip up or get off first so she can counter. I do think Hannah's a stronger fighter in this matchup, but if I have to pick one of these fighters, watching them fight, I'm much more impressed with what I see from Emma. Not only do I think that she's more technical, she's got better combinations. I think she's faster. Not necessarily stronger, but when it comes to scoring points in a female's fight, she's got the better knockout ratio, but I think she's going to go in there and score and win rounds. I think she's going to be the busier fighter. And when you're looking at boxing matches, especially for titles, it's always good to go with the busier fighter. And the stronger fighter as well, the younger fighter, I think she's fresher. She moves better. She just seems like she has a better awareness on how to win rounds, especially fighting Clarissa. Clarissa dominated her, but I was very impressed with how Emma handled that. Now, Hannah, her fight with Clarissa, it just seems like Clarissa was just scoring at will. And of course, Hannah could have been, trying to avoid the power of Clarissa. It's very possible. But I'm gonna take Emma to win this fight. I think Emma, from what I've seen, she should be able to outpoint Hannah to victory. So my pick is Emma to get this victory. And we're going to take a look at Shakur Stevenson, guys. Now, he is being dragged lately for his performance against Edwin De Los Santos. Now, this is a fill-in fight, and Edwin De Los Santos, he's from, I want to say, the Dominican Republic. He's very tough. He's solid. And a lot of people think that Shakur was running most of this fight. Now, I've had the luxury to see Shakur Stevenson fight live, that fight against Herring, Jermel. I think he looked amazing. And then this last fight against Dos Santos, the rumor was Shakur had an injury a couple weeks ago to his left hand. It clearly looked like he was injured. After the fight, Shakur said he's not here to make excuses. He said he just didn't feel well. A lot of people think he just ran. He outright ran. Now, personally, listen, guys, if you're not familiar, Shakur Stevenson, he's one of the best fighters out. I mean, there's a class of fighters now, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, that they're going to be the future of boxing. Now, Shakur's really good friends with Terrence Crawford. We know that they spar together. I think Shakur Stevenson was injured. And I also think just having 2 fights left on his contract, he's waiting to get out of that contract. You don't want to slip up in a fight when you know you're injured and not feeling well and you get blindsided by Edwin De Los Santos, who has nothing to lose. So I think Shakur fought it safe. Even with one hand and an injured hand, he won this fight pretty convincingly. I wouldn't look too much into it because I've seen Shakur fight. I've studied his game. He's very good, guys. And much like when Bud Crawford and Earl Spence leading up to their fights, when Bud didn't have a not so good performance, everyone said Spence would win. When Spence didn't look too good, everyone said Bud would win. The same with Shakur and Haney. I think it would be a 12-round fight. It could even be a draw, but a split decision, I don't know. I would still probably take Shakur Stevenson. I would probably, because you have to understand, De Los Santos is not a boxer. He's coming in there to fight. And fighting someone like Devin Haney, you're going to see the pure skill from Shakur Stevenson. Yes, Haney has the experience of fighting like a Lomachenko. He's been in the bigger fights without a doubt. But I wouldn't count Shakur Stevenson out if they fought. I'd probably give the nod to Shakur, to be honest with you. He is that good, guys. But nonetheless, my pick is Kozin to get the win here. Leave your comment below. What do you think? Who's going to win? Stay tuned for the tennis semifinals prediction in Chile. We'll be right back.